So, it is the end of the Second World War, and the aftermath has torn Europe apart. The end result was that Europe was divided into two parts: the Western Bloc, where governments ruled following democratic principles, and the Eastern Bloc, with the satellites country of the former USSR.
Among these countries was the Socialist Republic of Romania. In 1965, the new leader of the republic, Nicolae Ceausescu, is elected, and his action will change the history of the country forever. A simple man with great love for his country, Ceausescu's ideology was to put the general well-being of the people at his top priority. But unfortunately, that was not the case in many instances. He became thus a famous personality, as he stood against direct orders from the Moscow government. For the Russians, Romania was nothing more than a region with great agricultural resources. Ceausescu single-handedly changed our economical orientation from an agricultural-based one to an industrial one, and even made Romania a great economic power in the 70s. He was the only leader behind the Iron Curtain to have uncommonly good relationship with the Western governments and with the international capitalist institutions such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, because of his independent political line. In spite of Ceausescu's big political plans, he failed, so that in the 80s, the whole economy was already in free fall, which caused Ceausescu to impose severe rationing. Above all this, he ended his relationship with the Western world and decided to make Romania completely independent from any country and to have no debts to anyone.
His determination went to such a point that in 1989, the year of revolution, Romania was the only country in the world with zero debts. But in order to achieve all of this, Ceausescu imposed many anti-democratic principles and thus caused great harm to the population. This culminated on 16th of December 1989, when the Romanian Revolution started in the city of Timișoara and ended on the 27th of December with the execution of Nicolae Ceausescu and his wife.
Decree 707. Concerned about the country's low birth rates, Nicolae Ceausescu promulgated the Decree 770 in 1966, restricting abortion and contraception. Gynecological examinations and penalties against unmarried people and childless couples completed the birth rate measures. These pronatal measures had some degrees of success, as the baby boom resulted in the late 1960s, peaking in 1967. Ironically, the large generation of Romanians born during this period would, as young adults, play a major role in the communism regime's downfall 2 decades later.
People did not have the right to free speech. Newspapers and journalists were under severe censorship. Television was limited to only 2 channels, which were again under severe censorship. People were careful about what they would say to the others, as any joke or nonsense said could be considered anti-governmental, and these people could suffer terrible consequences after.
Self-security. This went hand in hand with the right of free speech. As we said earlier, you could not even talk about some topics because of certain people who had affiliation to the Central Communist Party. It was an invasion of privacy by the political police, usually referred by the name of secularists. Apart from that, these people had access to foreign commodities and products which are normally unavailable in the shops.
In order to achieve the goal of having zero debts around the world, in the 80s, Ceausescu had decided to focus on the economy to rely especially on exporting as much as possible. In his last years of living, all families in Romania received the bare necessities for living. Shops would always be empty, food was insufficient, heating in the winter would not be considered a priority. All of this had caused the sparks of the revolution and the downfall of the regime. On the other hand, in 1984 began the construction of the Palace of the Parliament, commonly referred as the Palace of the People, the second largest administrative building in the world after the Pentagon in the United States, and in terms of weight, the heaviest building in the world. The Palace of the Parliament is valued at 3 billion euros, making it the most expensive administrative building in the world. The cost of heating and electric lighting alone exceeds $6 million per year, as much as a medium-sized city. Even so, about 70% of the building is empty. Considering how most of the population was in precarious situation, was the palace ever needed?
Nowadays, Romania is a democratic country which is following the democratic principles and has made great progress since the 1989 revolution. We still struggle with the corruption among the politicians and other heated topics such as discrimination, LGBT+ rights, and not all existing rights are implemented correctly everywhere in Romania. We are still learning, but with the rise of a younger generation, a generation which hasn't lived during the communism period, our situation is already improving and will continue to improve. Democracy is not ideal, but it's the best form of government we have today.
Mama.